All right, so I don't know where I ended this, but meanwhile, I think I was talking about, oh, I don't know if you guys noticed these ropes. If I said it before, I'll try to edit it out. These are just a regular rope, but you cut them at 3 different lengths. I'll show you a little bit more about this later on if you're interested. It's actually a little trick for the kids. I may have told you already. Hey, Bear. No. A good friend of mine who has passed was the original Ronald McDonald. And he used to live not far from here, actually, about a 15-20 minute ride. But we also used to call him Magic Man because that was his thing. And he used to give me and show me a lot of these little things, the background of it, so that, you can play with the kids and things, and have a little fun with it. Nothing to go out and make money with, just little things that you figure out again anyway, so it's not a top secret trick, all right, that somebody put millions of dollars into, because there's a lot of them. Hold on a minute. Gotta give Bear a treat. And one of them was called the cigarette pull. Now back then, we used to smoke in stores. Anyway, I was a big smoker. And you used to be able to smoke in stores. You go through, a department store like a Walmart or something. They weren't around back then. But, you could walk through the store smoking. It wasn't a big deal. So, the cigarette pull is about the size of the top of this marker. And you can probably make one, or you might be able to find one if you hunt the internet for them. It's a cigarette pull, it's a trick. What you would do is you would have something like this, but it had a little bit more of a taper near the bottom. All right, and then it came out like this, and it had a little bit of lip on it. So when you put the cigarette in here, from the butt and maybe another inch or so, you didn't want just the butt, you need a little extra, but you don't want to put a full one in there either. All right, so when you push it in, it packs into here. And then you have a little skinny elastic cord, black, little elastic spring cords, black, and a clip on it. And you would clip it, in my case, I used to clip it between the shoulder blades in the back on my shirt. And it would be hanging in the back. But you couldn't see it because you'd have a jacket on. This was like a winter thing at this point. You could do it if you wore a t-shirt and a shirt open, but at that point I used a jacket. And then if you'd walk up to the register, for instance, and I've got a cigarette in my hand, and you don't know what to do with it, you don't want to throw it on the floor, and you want to break the stones at the register, the cashier. So I would have this in my hand, as I'm talking to her and things, and you're paying her and you're doing what you got to do, and you say, oh, man, what am I going to do with this cigarette? So you take it and you just stuff it in your hand, and you're putting it out in your hand, but meanwhile it's going into the cigarette pull. And here you've got the elastic. Now they're not seeing the elastic because your arm is here, and the elastic is going in between your coat and your body, and then you go like this. Now that elastic has tension on it, so as soon as you do this, the elastic pulls it right back behind you. So they never even see this. It happens that fast. All they see is this, and it's gone. So you did it right in front of them. They look at you, they're looking on the floor. It's a fun trick. If you're still a smoker, you can have a good time with it, if you can find one. But that was one of them. The ropes was another one. I'll show you those later. All you got to do is have a piece of rope. You can cut it up to the right lengths, and it's a piece of cake. So, but anyway, let's get back to this. I know I get off track. I'm sorry. So, but meanwhile, back at the ranch, I want to make sure I put a little lube on this gasket. Make sure we don't have any air intake leaks or out, because we want it to do its thing, and we want the input up here. So this is going to go there like so. So actually there's nothing in this thing other than a bearing that can go bad, and I don't see that happening right away. So I think we're pretty well set. So I can hook this back up and just hanging out. Today is Friday. The wife took today off, so she's got a 4-day weekend. I gotta make sure I get this in to where it belongs. First I gotta loosen this up. But it's a 4-day weekend for her, and we got a project we have to do. Yes, we do. We broke the window on the slider, the door. And because we don't know the brand, there's no label on it anymore, because it is 8 to 10 years old. I may have told you the story already. The wife thinks that when she was cutting the lawn, she may have thrown a rock at it, but it didn't break then. It broke when I was standing next to it, and I had the hose going, and when I turned, the hose didn't hit it directly, but some of the mist of the hose hit it, and it just shattered. And for a minute I'm saying, where's this ice coming from? Because you think, I mean, because that's what it looked like. Where's this ice coming from? What's this? And then, I'd be lucky if that was. It's not. So you're thinking about it. Like, okay. And then, I mean, it's 90 degrees out, sun shining. Why am I thinking ice? But it was the first thing that you think of, ice falling off a roof or something like that. And I said, holy shit. And within the seconds, you realize that, okay, it's not the ice. It's glass. And then that's when the wife had told me she wasn't sure, but she thought she heard a rock fling up. She didn't know where it went, but when nothing happened at the time, she figured nothing happened, so everything was okay. So meanwhile, the window broke, full-size window. Now luckily there's an inner window because it's a double pane. However, that's good for now, but it's never going to work in the wintertime. So I had to go out and I bought another slider. Now I was going to buy, I had 3 choices. Seeing that we were replacing it, I was thinking about, okay, and the wife was thinking, do we want to replace it with another slider, or do we want to put a regular door? Do we want to put French doors? I mean, what do we want to do? Well, after thinking about it, we're really not a French door type of person. French doors are not on our list of, we gotta have them. We like doors that don't take up any room when you open and close them. And when you get these French doors and things, you have to worry about that. If they open out, you got to make sure there's no obstructions. If they open in, you got to make sure there's no obstructions. So they could be a pain in the ass. Even a regular door naturally has to have something, some space in order to move. I like my doors, my outdoors, to open from the inside out, almost like a commercial building. Here in Connecticut, commercial buildings have to open from the inside out. In case of fire, you can just push it open. I like that reason, that pushing out, for 2 reasons. One is, if you do have to evacuate, and you're trying to pull the door open, and you have people pushing against you, it's almost impossible to get the door open. And they're not thinking about it because you're in a hurry, you're panicked. The house is burning down, or for whatever reason you have to get out. That's why it's a law for commercial to open outward. But anyway, the other reason is it's harder to break into. You just can't bam into it with your shoulder or with a ram. It's harder to get into. The other is you can use it as a weapon. If you have somebody at your door that's looking to threaten you, and you have to take it upon yourself until the police or somebody gets there to help you, you have that door, because them thinking it's going to open in are going to be standing right in front of it, possibly trying to push it in. All you got to do is turn the doorknob and push it out, and you're going to knock their ass down. Okay? So there's a lot of reasons why I like the doors to open out. They don't take up any room on the inside to open, and they're easier to get out if you have to. Now the downside is, if you don't have a real good door and you have to put up a storm door, then it can be tough, because it's almost impossible to open a door out when there's a storm door a few inches away from it on the outside. So you have to make sure you get a very good outer door that's going to be rated as a exterior winter all-purpose, whatever you want to call it, door. So, all right, so that's put back together. So now I'll give you a little heads up on the rope real quick. I'm not going to do it all now. You want 3 different size ropes, because the trick is they're all going to be the same size. The lengths that I have here are approximately 27 inches. The next one is approximately 19 inches, and the next one is approximately 11 inches, 11 and a half. A good way to figure out the sizes that you need for you. You can make them longer or shorter, but what you want is, when this rope is bent in half, and this rope is put through it and brought this way, this is how you make sure you got all 3 lengths the right length for what you need to do. So right now, from end to end, with these 2 looped together, is the same size as that one. So that's what you need. That's the 3 lengths that you need. You can make them any longer or shorter, but they have to be in certain measurements to work the trick together. So the longest one and the shortest one, when they're looped together in the middle, have to be the same size as your middle size. So you have a short one, a middle size, and a long one. Now the trick, I'm not going to show you, but I'll show you what it looks like. When you're going to have these in your hand, and you're going to have them hanging in your hand. Now I'm not going to hang them in any particular order right now, because I'm not going to show you the trick. You can figure this out. It's that easy. Take 3 lines, hang them in your hand. The end of the trick, you're going to have this, just by bringing the lines up to your hand. So that's what it's going to look like when you're done. But what you're not going to see is, you're not going to see that. Okay? So when I stretch these, I'm going to take all those different lengths and I'm going to make them all one length. Okay? So when I do that, now I stretch them out, and then you go. They're all the same length. Okay? Nobody's seeing that, because it's in your hand. Alright? So what you want to do is, when you have these hanging in your hand, long to short, or short to long, I'll let you figure it out, you're going to want to bring these up in a way that when this one comes up, it goes through that other one, over the other one. You follow me? So when you take these, for instance, let me do it again real quick here. If I was to have this one and this one, I believe, I'm trying to do this without giving it away. This one and this one, something like this. All right, and where's the other one? And this one. So basically, when you start pulling these, all right, you got to make sure when you pull it, this center one here actually comes through the other one. I think you're seeing that. I'm watching my hands, I'm not watching you. And that's what makes it all the same. And when you open them up, when you close your hand, because you're going to have all these in your hand with all 6 ends up to show that, okay, You follow me? And then when you do this, you're going to slide them out, and that knot is going to end up in your hand. And that's basically how that works. So you can, it's easy to figure out. As long as you got the right size lines and you got the gist of how it's done, it's easy to figure out. So if you just want to try figuring it out, go for it. You can have some fun with it with the kids.